الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين ثم أما بعد. So as we see, my brothers, this episode in history that has occurred and that has transpired and has gone before us now, how history, subhanallah, has a habit of repeating itself. And this is the cycle of Allah, this is the natural cycle of life, the sunan of Allah al-Kawniyya, the sunan, the traditions of Allah in His creation that repeat itself. And they do not change. And they do not change. Yes, you may have the nuance change here and there, but the principle stays the same. And that's why nowadays, subhanallah, as the Mongols we have yesterday, now we have a new set and group of Mongols today that are doing what they are doing to our Muslim brothers in Palestine, in Gaza, and the West Bank, and in Palestine and in Bilad al-Sham in general, and many other parts of the Muslim Ummah where we see in different lands throughout the Muslim world. May Allah Azza wa Jal give them peace and security and give them support and victory. And so we see, my brothers, that when one hopes or thinks that history at some point in time is going to change, this is a false hope. This is a delusion. This is an illusion that we try to paint for ourselves. Because clearly we see history doesn't change much. Even the lands that were involved back then are also involved now. There's no difference. It's just, yes, as we said, some nuances change here and there, and then that's it. Different rebranding of names, different sides, and that's it. That's all it is. But the sunnah of Allah and His creation don't change. And so the question is now, we see how the Muslims now are being, of course, weapons of mass destructions are used against the Muslims in Gaza. So much so that even the hospitals are attacked. And the Muslim women and children are being killed and slaughtered like as if it's nothing. Yes? It's not even about now people they're trying to fight as they claim, those who are trying to terrorize them or oppress them. No. Even those who are innocent by all forms of standards, they are still also being victimized and being killed and slaughtered. And the victim, subhanallah, who is defending himself for his land, is now considered the oppressor. And this is, subhanallah, as the Prophet ﷺ said, sanawat khadda'at. The years of where things are completely twisted. Things are completely twisted, where the good becomes evil and the evil becomes good. The one who is defending his land is the one who is evil. The one who is attacking is now all of a sudden the victim. And as such, subhanallah, and the sunnah of Allah, as we said, does not change. But the most important thing is, how is victory going to be attained? Number one is when the heart of the Muslims is attached only to Allah Azza wa Jal alone. None other than Allah Azza wa Jal. Because He is the source of peace and the source of victory. And from Him comes Nasr. Not from my father or mother or this neighboring country or that country. No one will give you victory if Allah does not wish to give you victory. If all of ins and jinn come together, unite together. If they all unite, if they do unite to come and help you with one thing Allah did not write for you, they will not be able to help you with anything. And if all of ins and jinn come together to unite, to come and harm you in something Allah did not prescribe upon you, there is no way they're going to harm you. And as the Prophet ﷺ is teaching this to a child, his nephew Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma. This is the iman that the Prophet ﷺ was instilling in the children before the adults. So this is number one. Number two, it's the role of the ulama, the scholars of the ummah. And this is something that is obviously essential and important because they are the forefront. They are the people who show the guidance and the means for the Muslim ummah forward. And they are the ones who are always at the forefront. Just as Al-Izz bin Abdus Salam and Al-Hajib and Ibn Taymiyyah and many other scholars before them, between them, An-Nawawi, etc. rahimahumullah, who spoke for Allah Azza wa Jal and spoke for the sake of Allah alone and feed none other than Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is the important role of the scholars. Number three is a weapon that is unfortunately not utilized by many of the Muslims. And that is dua. Yes, we need to of course strive and we need to do our best in every front we can. If not by oneself, then by his money. If not by his money, by the time he can and do whatever he can for the Muslims. In whatever way possible. If not, at least dua. And that is unfortunately the weapon that is forgotten. Where the Muslims, we are not making dua for our brothers and sisters compared to the amount of time we sit and waste on idle talk. Number 4 is we need to begin to nurture ourselves, our families, and particularly our children. Because we have to understand, may Allah have mercy on the poet when he says, yes, we said, لا يصنع الأبطال إلا في مساجدنا الفساح في روضة القرآن في ظل الأحاديث الصحاح من خان حي على الصلاة خان حي على الكفاح. Yes, the poet says, rahimahullah, he says, the abtal, the heroes, are not going to be made except in the spaces of our masajid that are open, in the rawdat, in the gatherings of the Quran, yes, and under the shade of the hadith that are sihah, the authentic ahadith. Whoever betrays hayya ala salah has betrayed hayya ala al-kifah. You cannot expect to stand in front of the enemy. The ummah cannot think it's going to stand in front of its enemy when its youth and the adults and the youth are spending their time in hawa and shahawat, in their desires. There is no way Allah Azza wa Jal will give victory to people who are engaged and involved and indulged in their desires. And that's why Allah says, فَخَلَفَ مِن بَعْدِهِمْ خَلْفٌ أَضَاعُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَاتَّبَعُوا الشَّهَوَاتِ فَسَوْفَ يَلْقَوْنَ غَيًّا. Then came after them generations who not left salah, they neglected salah. Because if you leave salah, you're a disbeliever. Allah says they neglected salah and they followed their desires. So, ghayya, which is a valley in hellfire, is awaiting for them. So this, my brothers, is how we have to begin to move and start working on ourselves as Muslims by returning to Allah and nurturing ourselves, our families and children and the Muslim community to turn back to Allah, because that is the only way for victory. And if we do not support Allah, Allah will not support us. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make us from those who listen to the speech and follow the best of it. Indeed, they are the people whom Allah has guided and the people of understanding. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يعز من عاديت ولا يذل من واليت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت لك الحمد على ما قضيت ولك الشكر على ما أنعمت وأعطيت استغفرك اللهم من جميع الذنوب والخطايا وأتوب إليك اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم انصر إخواننا المجاهدين والمستضعفين في كل مكان اللهم انصرهم نصرا مؤزرا اللهم كن معهم عونا ونصيرا اللهم إنهم جوع فأطعمهم اللهم إنهم جياع فأطعمهم اللهم إنهم عراة فاكسهم اللهم إنهم عراة فاكسهم اللهم إنهم عطشى فاسقهم اللهم أعنا ولا تعن علينا وانصرنا ولا تنصر علينا وامكر لنا ولا تمكر علينا واهدنا ويسر الهدى إلينا وانصرنا على من بغى علينا اللهم اجعلنا لك شكارين لك ذكارين لك رهابين لك مطواعين إليك مخبتين أواهين منيبين اللهم تقبل توبتنا واغسل حوبتنا وأجب دعوتنا وثبت حجتنا اللهم اهد قلوبنا وسدد ألسنتنا واسلل سخيمة صدورنا وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.